Hi, I'm Rick Kahler. Thanks for joining me. Speaking in front of an audience used to be Americans' greatest fear. According to a Chapman University study done last year, public speaking has dropped to number 5. Number 1 is now walking down a dark alley alone. And number 2? Well, that's identity theft. I found this hard to believe until I started noticing all the ads on identity theft. They warn that not only can your bank account be stolen, so can your retirement nest egg, and yes, even your home equity. They suggest that you can be wiped out in one fell swoop. What isn't there to be terrified of here? The ad's answer to calming your fears is pretty simple. Buy identity theft insurance. While there's a grain of truth in the outrageous claims, the probability of a horrendous financial loss from identity theft is slim. Most identity theft insurance policies provide the services of a professional to help reestablish your credit, in addition to covering some monetary losses from the theft. Still, I don't recommend identity theft insurance. So it was pretty ironic that a few months ago I was the victim of identity theft. Someone from our bank called, suspicious about a scheduled wire transfer on a personal account for $904 to an account in Mexico. The account had been hacked. As best we could determine, hackers had gained access to my wife's computer, which, unknown to us, had the Microsoft Update feature disabled for 18 months prior and was 161 updates behind. We had 6 other personal and business accounts at this bank under a number of different usernames and passwords. We learned that all these accounts were tied together into one group that could be accessed by any individual's account's username and password. The fraud department agent said that all the accounts were compromised and would need to be closed. Of course, this was a major inconvenience. It meant rescheduling scores of automatic payments on 7 checking accounts, getting new authorizations, notifying vendors, purchasing new checks, signing medallion or getting medallion guarantees on automatic pay documents. It was a mess. But at least the problem was resolved. Until 3 months later, my bookkeeper called to ask about 9 wire transfers, totaling $6,300 in 1 month out of one infrequently used bank account. The bank confirmed that the hackers used a username and password to gain access to the account, and the transfers escaped the watchful eye of their fraud department. Now, I hadn't set up online banking on any of the new accounts. How could this be possible? There were no usernames or passwords. How could they have gained access? Then I discovered that even though the bank had closed all the accounts and opened new ones, they only disabled the username and password the hackers had used to gain access the first time. They left all the others active. Well, this is a little bit baffling to me. And it seemed obvious that closing the accounts included disabling all access to all the accounts. Found out otherwise. Fortunately, the bank covered our loss. We did have to close all the accounts a second time. This time we also disabled all the IDs and passwords. Now, this experience has taught me 2 lessons. First, don't assume a protective action has been taken just because it seems obvious to you. Ask questions and make sure. Second, if your bank links all your accounts when you do online banking, it might be wise to not have more than 1 or 2 accounts at a bank and only access them using one username and password. I also learned that insurance would not have compensated us for our personal time and hassle involved in signing and approving new accounts, which could not be outsourced. My advice is to skip identity theft insurance. Well, that still stands. Thanks for listening.